Good morning and welcome to the Sunday celebrations here for the Centers of Spiritual Living Denver. We are a loving and prospering community here in the heart of Capitol Hill and online. We know that with everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. Here at CSL Denver, we want you to know that we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for prayer work with you. Our names and phone numbers are on the website at www.cslddenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, please email it to info@cslddenver.org. Reverend Elzia, along with all of our guest speakers, all of our practitioners, our music and service coordinators want you to know how truly grateful we are for your online support. Thank you for watching our Sunday services, attending our online workshops and events, and providing financial support so that we can keep our virtual doors open. We love you all and know we'll be seeing you in person in the right and perfect time. And now, we'll continue to meet online until further notice. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Please go to www.cslddenver.org and sign up for our newsletters. Or send an email to info@cslddenver.org and request to be put on our mailing list. This week, we are having our usual Zoom fellowship right after service. If you haven't already received an email this morning, please send an email to info@cslddenver.org to request a Zoom invitation. Please join us. We would love to say hi and catch up with you. That's it for the announcements this Sunday. Again, thank you for tuning in, and now back to our service.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Good morning, everyone. So let's settle into our chairs and open our hearts and bring in an inspirational message this morning. And close your eyes if you feel comfortable. We just settle into our hearts and open our hearts and know that the attributes of peace, love, compassion, and empathy are here right now in this moment. That the spiritual creative energy of the Creator itself is at work at all times and is unfolding always for the highest and greatest good, even when we do not see that in conditions around us. We hold that knowing. And we know that this creative energy is also known by different names throughout history. Brahma, Yahweh, Jesus, Buddha, all the same creative energy at work with the many faces of God. And we know that these compassionate feelings of love and understanding and healing are here in the world, and even when we cannot see it. So we know that there is peace where there is not peace. We know there is love where there is not love. We know there is compassion, understanding, and empathy where it seems these attributes are not. So we hold this knowing this morning for ourselves, for those we come in contact with, our community, and all those in the presence of spirit, whether you're in a church, a temple, a mausoleum, or out in nature itself. So we hold these truths and know it as we move into our service this morning. And we feel the presence of God right here, right now. Our reading this morning is called The Spirituality of Play. It was Robin Williams who said, "The human spirit is more powerful than any drug, and that is what needs to be nourished with work, play, friendship, family. These are the things that matter." And Anthony DeMello, a Jesuit priest from Bombay, got to the heart of the human spirit and play through his story on Leela, the Hindu god of play. And he shared, "The master once referred to the Hindu notion that all creation is Leela, God's play, and the universe is his playground. The aim of spirituality," he claimed, "is to make all life play." This seemed too frivolous for a puritanical visitor who said, "Is there no room then for work?" The master responded, "Of course there is, but work becomes spiritual only when it is transformed into play." Many faith traditions, Christian and Hasidic storytellers, Zen masters, Tao sages, encourage us not to take ourselves too seriously. These prophets have an important role in the spiritual life because they espouse the spiritual practice of play. And as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "It is a happy talent to know how to play." When Hindus speak of the creation of the universe, they don't call it the work of God. They call it the play of God. If the purpose of the spirit is to make all life play, including us as humans and our human spirit, then perhaps our goal should be to live life through a playful spirit. For us to have the experience of being whole and complete, there is the need for our creative spirit to have the freedom to freely play. If not free to play in the world in which we find ourselves, at least free in our own creative imagination to explore options without limits and boundaries and use the concept of complex integration to bring those options back into the world. If our creative spirit is not free to play, we will never be able to have the feeling of wholeness within our being, for ultimately we are consciousness at play. And Ernest Holmes says, "Life makes things of itself. There is no effort in the process, for creation is the play of life upon itself. And now we have music from Jeff King with his song Dancing with the Mountains.
Good morning again, everyone. When we talk about play here in Colorado, we often think about the mountains, skiing, hiking, camping, all that fun stuff. So here's a song about playing in the mountains.
Little technical difficulty here. We'll cue that up again. One moment. I can't sing, so I don't think you guys want to hear me sing.
Good morning again, everyone. When we talk about play here in Colorado, we often think about the mountains, skiing, hiking, camping, all that fun stuff. So here's a song about playing in the mountains. Everybody's got the dancing fever. Everybody loves to rock and roll. Play it louder, baby, play it faster. Funky music starting to stretch your soul. Just relax and let the rhythm take you. Don't you be afraid to lose control. If your heart has bouncing through spaces, dancing's just the thing to make you whole. I am one who dances with the mountains. I am one who dances in the wind. I am one who dances on the ocean. My partners, more than pieces, more than friends. Were you there the night they lost the lightning? Were you there the day the earth stood still? Did you see the famous scene of fighting? Did you hear the prophet tell his tale? I am one who dances with the mountains. I am one who dances in the wind. I am one who dances on the ocean. My partners, more than pieces, more than friends. We are one when dancing with the mountains. We are one when singing in the wind. We are one when thinking of each other. More than partners, more than pieces, more than friends.
Good morning. Thank you, Jeff, for that lovely song. I'm ready to go out and play here in Colorado this morning, although we have a little snow falling. I think it's very appropriate to keep our options open. So good morning and welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love. A spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and applying universal principles to embody the intelligence of the divine and empower our lives and the lives of others. So I'm so glad you're here today. And first and foremost, we want to send out prayers and of resolution and protection and safety to all those that are in harm's way in Ukraine, and we trust for a speedy end to this conflict. And so, as we continue our theme for the year, our global theme, looking at that and looking at this whole idea of living everyday wonder, today we launch into this month's theme of sacred joy and sacred play. Sacred joy and sacred play. And we want to look at how can we live in that space 24/7, especially given where we are now and the events we see going recently around the world. Now, as we begin to take on this new idea of sacred joy and sacred play, it gives us an opportunity to set the groundwork to approach life as a playground, which is our talk today, life as a playground. And so as we look around at the events of the day, one might say that this is hardly a playground. And we may even consider that there are times in the divine where this is just heavy work. I mean, it's, we got all this praying and meditating and contemplating and all these serious spiritual things to do. We often lose sight of this idea of looking at life as a playground. And so right now, I'd like to just present this point of let's first go back and look at what a playground is. And before you say, oh no, I can't go with that, let's hold your judgment for a moment. Let's try to unravel this concept and let's see what we can muster here as we look at life as a playground filled with joy and opportunities. So the Oxford Dictionary defines a playground as a place or a field or a sphere where people gather to enjoy themselves in unrestricted, pleasurable activities. Unrestricted, pleasurable activities. And so here, there's a perfect quote that says, play is the exaltation of the possibilities. Play is the exaltation of the possibilities. And so when we're here and we're looking at this opportunity, we want to take a moment to just take it in first and understand that all play, all life is a sacred activity. And so when we step on the playground of life, we step in there where our imaginations are free and where we can laugh and cry and collaborate and argue. I mean, we can fall down, we can get back up, we can create things, we can see old friends and make new ones, all in this activity called sacred play. Now, if you think back when you were a kid, or if you have kids, or if you have grandkids, and you just think about the playground, it was a sacred place. You had kids from all over. They'd come and they'd do the magic two-step dance, right? They'd size each other up, and if they were playing a game of tag or chase, they'd kind of figure out who they want on their side and all of that. But after they got rid of all of that initial, what I would call nervousness of being unbound freedom, the play commenced, and it was a glorious sight to see. Glorious sight to see. Henry Longfellow reminds us that sacred play is a way of being in the world that recognizes that while life is real and life is earnest, life is also delightful. And it frequently have all kind of absurdities and weird things happening and all manner of things. But at the heart of it is spirit. At the heart of it is God that is directing us and guiding us to live an open, free life, to live a life where we release the boundaries. You see, because sacred play is not just about laughter for its own sake, although that is a good thing to do. But it is play with the purpose to heal the soul, to expand our spiritual horizons, and to break through walls of consciousness of awareness that we build around ourselves as we begin to take life too serious and we move into what is called adulthood. And that's why it says the children will be the one to inherit the kingdom, to inherit heaven, because they come at life with this exuberance. They come at life with this idea of everything's fair and everything's good, and we can just have a good time. And although we may fall or we may have disputes, it's all in the play. We can overcome them and we continue to play. It's exactly what happens when we see kids playing in the playground. And so when we take that idea, we look at this idea of sacred play. And it's a sacred play is a sacred act. When we are playing, the essence of all creation flows freely through us. We are expressing our true nature and connecting with the very core of our existence. Nothing is more spiritual than that. Nothing is more spiritual than that. So sacred play is at the heart of why we're here. It is the impetus to get out here and explore and find our true nature as we connect with others and connect with nature and allow the spirit to move through us. Now, I just want to take you back now, because I know for myself, and I'm going to only speak for myself. Sometimes I have a hard time playing, right? The seriousness of life and all the events that are going on and trying to pay the bills and this, that, and the other. But I was reminded as I looked at this topic that when a child first steps, if you can remember back and just think about the first time you tried to tackle the monkey bars or the jungle gym. You see kids, they step up on there and they're fearless to tackle that obstacle. But boy, they grab hold to that bar and they might just hang on for a minute. And they might not even make a move. They might just grab on and hold on and then just drop, right? Because they are not all together there. They're not there yet. But the determination that they bring to that, the joy of getting back up and trying it again, and embracing the current moment with a smile is priceless. It's priceless to see how each and every one of us can tackle life without having to worry about the next step. What's coming next? Can I grab the bar? They go at it with unabated enthusiasm and a smile, which makes all the difference in the world. So when we give up this whole idea of growing up and stay in the moment and reclaim that playtime, when you're in school, we love recess and playtime. You'd be in class if it was a bad subject or a teacher was, not being nice to you as you thought. You couldn't wait until playtime. And that's where we are now. We're in a moment in life where we need more playtime, and that's sacred play, knowing that all things being equal, anything can happen on the playground. Anything can happen on the playground. But when we remember our experiences there, when we remember the opportunities there, when we remember the feelings we had, I just want to remind, do you remember how it felt to swing high in the swing? Just as high as you could go. Have your friend push you, and your parents are sitting on the sideline scared to death, right? Because they're like, oh, if they let go or what, not going to be nice. But remember that feeling and the exuberance you had of swinging high. Or remember how creative you could be in the sandbox, making all manner of castles and shapes and objects and all manner of things, allowing your creativity and imagination to just be free. Or do you remember the first time you went down the slide? How it felt? twisting and turning and finally hitting the ground and saying, "Ooh, that was, I can do it again." And you go back and you do it over and over and over again. Well, that's where we are now. We're reminded to go back to that playground of life, to look at life as this purposeful thing that is full of joy, and begin to see it as something to engage with joy and adventure and excitement and anticipation, because that's what life is. Every moment is new. Every moment is something brand new. Every time you go down the slide, there's something different about the first time you went down. And so as we get ready to engage life as a playground, I got 3 things I think that will give us a great foundation to move forward, a great understanding of how to engage life as a playground. And the first thing is, we have to understand the purpose of the playground, right? It's not a place to pick sides. It's not a place to fight, or it's a place to come and engage life fully. Engage life fully. And part of that means there are some rules, there are some ground rules that we have to adhere to right off the bat. Now, the first one is inclusion. Everybody's included. There's no, everybody is welcome to play and have fun on the playground. There are no barriers. There's no language barriers. There's no color barriers. There are no barriers. If you're on the playground, you're fair game to play. Whether we're playing tag or we're on the merry-go-round, doesn't matter. That's number one. That's the first foundational point that we have to remember in this playground of life. The second thing is, we have to begin to understand and utilize our skills of conflict resolution. Conflict resolution, which, is a good thing to have right now, right? Where we work through issues. We don't start bullying people or taking our toys and going away. If we have a conflict, we work through it. We look at the different people, their abilities, and we cheer them on if they're not as good. We find ways that everybody can be a part of the play. Now, after we've figured out how to learn inclusively and include inclusively and work through resolutions of problems, the next thing is, we have to understand that this is a place of positive reinforcement. We encourage everybody. If this is the first time on the Jungle Gym Monkey Bars, we encourage it. You can do it. Take the next bar. Go. We are encouraging you to take challenges, to advance your skills, to move forward in life, and do it with a smile. And if you need some assistance, I'll hold your legs. You grab it. And whatever it takes to create this reinforcement environment where everybody is engaged. We're helping each other. Everybody is trying to give maximum joy to these learning opportunities. And the last foundational thing we learn in the playground is leadership. And by that, I mean, we learn to communicate and take advice and include others. We learn to work in harmony to create a fun environment for all. So that's the first thing we have to do. We have to understand the purpose of the playground. And it is for us to learn how to live life joyously and fully by including people and resolving issues and reinforcing everyone to be higher and better. And then those kind of roll up into this whole idea of leadership. And there's no one leader. It's a shared leadership. I may be the leader now, you may be the leader next. But the idea of that leadership is to keep the fun going. Is to keep the fun moving. Now, once we have those ground rules, the next 2 things are very simple. The second one of these next 2 is expect the unexpected. When we play, no matter what we think might happen, anything will happen. We are continuously put in various situations and unexpected things where we allow spirit to flow through us, and the joy just continues. Let's say somebody is there and they have to go. Well, that's maybe an unexpected thing if you're in the middle of the play. But you say goodbye We'll see you next time. And you continue to find a way to replace that person or that idea that just left the playground. Because we understand in real life, life changes. Surprises happens. Failures occur. And successes are achieved. And sometimes they are unexpected. Sometimes we have no idea when they're coming our way. But as we begin to surrender to life and allow ourselves to experience it fully, we don't let them knock them off the ground. We are able to roll with the punches, as they say. We're able to move in a way that allows life to be good all the time. And so Ernest Holmes says this. He said, God sings all songs, dances all the dances, paints all the pictures, creates all the art, writes every book, and plays every game. So no matter what the situation looks like, no matter where we are, no matter what's happening, God is in the midst of it. So if we're winning or losing or having a challenging time getting into the game, God is in the midst, and that sacred play is moving. It's allowing us to be better than the last time. Every time you go to the monkey bars, you get better and better. So expect the unexpected when you're on the playground. Don't allow it to intimidate you or you to come in with a fixed set of rules other than the ones we gave before about inclusion and conflict resolution. Other than that, it's a free field. And once we got this idea to expect the unexpected, the last thing is to be ready to engage fully. And this is the key part here. Are you willing to try? Are you willing to be ready to engage in life? To look at it as a playground, to expect to fall off the monkey bars, to expect maybe on occasion not to get your turn on the swing when you want to. We have to be willing to join in and try. We can't allow people to be on the sidelines to have maximum fun. We have to get everybody included in the playground. Of course, there are timeouts and those moments where we need a rest, and that's part of the game. But on the playground, the most fun is had when everyone is engaged, when everyone is having fun. I may look at another person smile and be even more joyous by looking at the joy that they're having. So it's not about winning or losing. It's about being involved. It's about cultivating a life of joy and making space for this in our lives in all factors. Making space for joy in our lives in all factors. So here, Pierre Chardin said this. Joy is an infallible sign of the presence of God. Joy is an infallible sign of the presence of God. So when we see kids playing, we know God is present. We should take note. We should sit there and learn from them, observe them, watch them, because they are teaching us. Teach the children and let them lead the way, and they are. So we have to begin to really look at life as a playground, as a child. Take yourself back, meditate, close your eyes, and see the fun you had, the friends you made, the challenges you overcame, the courage you found within yourself to take on life another day. So when we look at life as a playground, as we kind of sum up and just realize that we have to understand the purpose of the playground. We have to expect the unexpected when we're on the playground. And when we're in the playground, we have to be ready and willing to engage. We have to be ready, willing to engage. And when we look at life as a playground in this way, not just about, unleashing our inner child, of course, that's there. It's always a part of it. But if we look at it as a way of looking at life through different lenses, at the different apparatuses, at the different things going on, I'd like to sum it up like this. So as we engage in the playground, just like on a swing, We want to gain momentum and aim high. Or just like when we're on the seesaw, we want to find that balance, and we understand that it's an art, and we want to work with it and move forward. And just like when we're on the monkey bars and we're going through these obstacles of life, let's have fun while we do it. Let's not make it so serious. And when we're in the sandbox and all of this opportunity is there, the mantra is create, create, create. And last but not least, when we're on the slide and we're riding down the slide, enjoy the ride of life, engage that cycle, and know that we are moving forward. And when we are resting and we're on the merry-go-round and we are going round and around and around, appreciate the cycle of life, knowing that God is always with us, we're always at play, and there's no place where God is not. So this week, as we move about our day and look forward to life, let's do it with wonder and joy and play in our heart, and explore the ways in which we can seek God in joy and let joy in our lives. Because no matter where we are, no matter what we do, if we're playing and laughing with God, there's always a bright beginning. And so I'd like to, as always, share these call to actions for this week. It's two simple ones. Go to a playground and watch the kids play and be reminded. And in some form or fashion, get outside and play yourself, whatever that looks like for you. It might even be going to the playground and jumping on the slide yourself, or trying to go through the monkey bars again. But get outside and play so we can begin to feel life and live life as unabated, and knowing that this is our affirmation for the week. I am having fun with the divine. I am having fun with the divine. And so with that, let's go into prayer. So as we take this moment right now and declare it a moment of pure delight, of sacred play, of engaging with the divine in all aspects of life, knowing that right here, right now, the playground is filled. There are lots of kids. There are all sorts of apparatus and sandboxes and toys and things for us to engage in and to create a life that excites us, that inspires us to include everyone on the grounds. Because we know that we are made in the image of the master creator, God itself, that created the wonder of the ocean and the exuberance of the mountains and the joy of looking at a flower. This is what we are recreating when we look at life as a playground. We are igniting those creative forces within ourselves and reminding ourselves that we are God in expression, that we are God in form. And that as we play joyously and inclusively and learn to resolve issues, the play just continues 24/7. And so I know right here, right now, and I declare for each and every one of us that we are opening our hearts wide to the playground, that we're putting on our sneakers and we're tying up our shoes tight and we're putting on our armor of laughter as we move through the challenges, as we move through the joys and successes and failures, knowing that we rest on a foundation of love, of joy, of happiness, of overcoming and success. And so with that as a container for life, I just give thanks. I give thanks to know that no matter what comes our way, no matter what we're faced with, we have the opportunity to play with it and transform it and look at it through different lenses and make it something different. And so with that, I know that each and every one of us will go forth this week with an idea of joy, of play in our hearts, and inclusion as our tool. And so with that, I release this prayer into a law that is infallible, that is unchangeable, and that is automatic. And that it is currently right now working on this idea in our lives and the lives of those who may hear it later, to force us, to cajole us, to encourage us to be all that we can be in the eyes of God. And so with that, I give thanks, I release, I let go, and I know that it is so. And so it is. Amen, amen, and amen. And so let's go out this week, everyone, and have some fun. Let's play. And so as we right now step into this sacred moment of sacred giving, we are so grateful and blessed for everyone's opportunity to support us here and to give your time, treasures, and talents, especially during this time now where we're still coming out of COVID, but we're in that transformative place, and we are just so grateful. And so if you notice the bottom of the screen, you'll see the many different ways you can give, through text or through going to our website and hitting the donate button, or sending a check or money order to the P.O. box. But no matter how you give, we appreciate every offering that you give. And so as you look and take your tithe and hold it to your heart, or hold your hand if it's an automatic tithe, and repeat our affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive, and so it is. Amen. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Elzia. That was wonderful. As usual, I'm going to go play. Okay, we have some announcements this morning. Our usual virtual fellowship on Zoom is this morning, and we would love for you to come join us and let us know how you're doing. If you did not receive the Zoom invitation earlier this morning, please send an email to info@csldenver.org and mention fellowship, and we'll be sure to send you a Zoom invitation right away. And mark your calendars. We have a new workshop coming up on Sunday, March 27th. Practitioner Tim Hancock will be facilitating the language of gratitude. We will explore the spiritual and physical benefits of living in a state of gratitude. It will be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Daily Time on Sunday, March 27th. Please send an email to info@csldenver.org to register and receive a Zoom invitation. And love offerings are greatly appreciated for our practitioner classes. Meanwhile, we hope you have a wonderful week and affirm right here and right now that 2022 is blessed and perfect in all that it is. We love you and miss you. Please take care of yourselves. And let's close out with I Release and Let Go.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. And this is what